Imagine this. The sun sets on the 20th night of Ramadan. Most homes get quiet. Some people feel a little tired. Some think the hardest days are already done. But what if I told you that the most important nights of your entire year are just beginning? Not ordinary nights, not routine prayers, not just another Taraweeh. These are the nights where destinies are written, where sins that have lived with you for years can disappear in moments, where one single night can be better than more than 83 years of worship. And the truth is, many Muslims don't realize this. Before we go deeper, if you are someone who wants reminders that soften the heart and bring you closer to Allah, subscribe to the Peace Whisper and join this journey with us. Because tonight, we're talking about something that can change the direction of your life. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are not normal nights. Think about it. All year long we chase things, deadlines, bills, careers, notifications on our phones. But once a year, Allah opens a small window in time. Just 10 nights, 10 chances. A door where mercy pours down more than any other time in the year. And hidden within those nights is one night that the Quran describes as better than 1,000 months, more than 83 years. Many of us may never even live that long. So imagine standing for prayer, making dua, whispering to Allah, on a night where every second is multiplied beyond your imagination. But here is the heartbreaking part. Some people treat these nights like the end of Ramadan, when in reality they are the beginning of the real race. The Prophet intensified his worship during these nights more than any other time. He prayed longer. He made more dua. He woke his family. Because he knew something many of us forget. Opportunities like this don't come often in life. Let me tell you a simple story. There was a woman who once said that she used to treat the last 10 nights casually. She would pray a little, scroll on her phone, feel sleepy, and tell herself, maybe tomorrow night I'll do more. But one Ramadan, something changed. Someone reminded her that Laylatul Qadr might fall on any one of these nights. And she suddenly realized something terrifying. What if the night she was scrolling was the night angels were descending with blessings? What if the night she chose sleep was the night her destiny could have been rewritten? That thought shook her. From that Ramadan on, she treated every one of the last 10 nights like it might be the one. And that's the mindset that transforms these nights. Not perfection, not exhaustion, but intention. You don't need to pray all night to start. Maybe tonight you stand for 2 sincere units of prayer. Maybe you whisper a dua you've been afraid to ask. Maybe you sit quietly and ask Allah to forgive every mistake you carry. And the angels hear it. Because on these nights the heavens are closer than we realize. And there's a dua that the Prophet taught specifically for these nights. O Allah, you are the most forgiving, and you love to forgive, so forgive me. Simple words. But imagine saying them on the night where forgiveness flows more than any other night in the year. Imagine meeting Allah one day and finding that a single night erased mountains of sins. That's the power hidden in these nights. But here's a question for you. If someone told you there was one night this week where a single hour of work could earn you the reward of 83 years of salary, would you sleep through it? Of course not. You'd stay awake, focused, alert. Yet Allah offers something far greater than money: forgiveness, mercy, a chance to start again, and the most beautiful part, you don't need to be perfect to receive it. You just need to show up. Even if your voice shakes in dua, even if your prayer isn't long, even if all you say is, "Wa Allah, I'm trying." These nights are not about performance, they are about connection. So tonight, when the world slows down and the sky becomes quiet, remember that angels may be descending, mercy may be falling, and your name might be written among those who are forgiven. Don't let these nights pass like normal nights. Treat them like they might be the most important nights of your life. And if this reminder touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it tonight. You never know, your share might help someone catch Laylatul Qadr. And before you leave, tell me in the comments, what is the one dua you are hoping Allah answers this Ramadan? Your words might inspire someone else to make the same dua. This is the Peace Whisper, reminding you that sometimes the quietest nights hold the greatest miracles. Most people think the hardest part of Ramadan is the fasting during the day, the long hours without food, the thirst, the tiredness after work or school. And by the time the 20th day of Ramadan passes, many people feel a quiet sense of relief. They start thinking that the finish line is close. They count the remaining days. Some begin planning Eid, shopping, travel, gatherings with family. The mindset slowly shifts from spiritual focus to celebration. But what many Muslims don't realize is that the real treasure of Ramadan does not sit at the beginning of the month. It is hidden at the very end. The last 10 nights of Ramadan are not ordinary nights. They are not simply the final days of a blessed month. They are a sacred window in time where the opportunity for forgiveness, mercy, and spiritual transformation becomes greater than any other nights in the entire year. These nights carry a weight that most people underestimate. In the rush of daily life, many people pass through them without fully recognizing what they truly contain. Think about how life works. There are moments that look small on the surface but carry enormous impact. A single conversation can change the direction of someone's life. One decision can open doors that remain open for decades. In the same way, Allah placed within these last 10 nights something so powerful that it can outweigh a lifetime of ordinary actions. During the earlier days of Ramadan, many people build habits. They fast, they pray, they try to read more Quran, they attempt to become more patient and more aware of Allah. But the last 10 nights are where the intensity of worship was meant to rise, not slow down. This is the period when the Prophet would increase his devotion more than at any other time in the month. His nights became longer in prayer. His heart became even more focused on remembrance. He woke his family so they would not miss the blessing of these nights. This teaches us something important. If the most beloved servant of Allah treated these nights with such seriousness, then it means their value is far beyond what we usually imagine. Inside these nights lies Laylatul Qadr, the night of decree, a night that the Quran describes as better than 1,000 months. When we pause and truly understand that number, it becomes overwhelming. 1,000 months is more than 83 years. For many people, that is longer than their entire lifespan. It means that a single night of sincere worship could carry the reward of a lifetime. But Laylatul Qadr is not marked with flashing signs in the sky. It is hidden within these final nights. That is part of the wisdom. Because if people knew exactly which night it was, many would only worship during that single night. By keeping it hidden, every one of the last 10 nights becomes precious. Every sunset becomes a new possibility. Every prayer could fall on the night that changes everything. And yet, many people unintentionally treat these nights like the winding down of Ramadan. Energy drops. Routines become lighter. Sleep becomes more tempting. The heart that was once eager in the first days of Ramadan may begin to slow down. Without realizing it, a person may pass through the most valuable nights of the entire month while giving them the least attention. But the believer who understands the value of these nights begins to see them differently. When the 20th day passes, they do not feel that Ramadan is ending. They feel that the most important chapter is beginning. Their awareness becomes sharper. Their time becomes more intentional. Even small acts begin to carry deeper meaning. Because any one of these nights might hold the reward of more than 80 years of devotion. Laylatul Qadr is one of the greatest gifts Allah has given to this ummah. Yet many people pass through Ramadan without truly reflecting on what this night means. The Quran describes it with words that immediately capture attention. A night that is better than 1,000 months. When we slow down and absorb that statement, its weight becomes astonishing. 1,000 months is more than 83 years. For many people, that is longer than an entire lifetime. It means that the worship done in one single night can carry the reward of decades of devotion. Imagine someone who lives a normal life. They work, raise a family, try to stay consistent with prayer, and do their best to remain close to Allah. Their lifetime of effort may span 60 or 70 years, yet Allah, in His mercy, placed within one night a reward that can exceed an entire lifespan of worship. This shows how deeply Allah wants His servants to succeed. It shows that the doors of mercy are far wider than we often imagine. Laylatul Qadr is also called the night of decree. During this night, angels descend in great numbers, and matters for the coming year are written by the command of Allah. It is a night filled with peace until the break of dawn. The atmosphere of this night is described as calm and blessed, a night where the heavens feel close, and the mercy of Allah spreads across the earth. But one of the most profound aspects of Laylatul Qadr is that its exact date is hidden. It is not fixed in a way that allows people to focus on just one night. Instead, it is placed within the last 10 nights of Ramadan. This wisdom encourages believers to seek it continuously, night after night. Each evening becomes filled with hope and anticipation, because any one of those nights could be the one that carries the reward greater than a lifetime. For a believer, this changes how the nights are viewed. Instead of seeing them as ordinary evenings of Ramadan, they become opportunities that cannot be replaced. A person may stand in prayer on a quiet night, thinking it is simply another night of worship, while in reality it could be Laylatul Qadr. The dua whispered softly in that moment might carry the weight of 83 years of reward. Another beautiful aspect of this night is how simple the door of mercy is. It is not limited to scholars or those who are perfect in their faith. Laylatul Qadr is open to every believer who turns to Allah with sincerity. A person may pray a few units of prayer, raise their hands in dua, ask for forgiveness, and hope in the mercy of Allah. Even small acts done with a sincere heart become incredibly valuable when they fall on this night. The Prophet taught a very short but powerful supplication specifically for Laylatul Qadr. He encouraged believers to repeat a dua, asking Allah for forgiveness, reminding them that Allah loves to forgive. This shows that the essence of this night is not about complicated acts of worship. It is about humility, sincerity, and returning to Allah with a heart that hopes for His mercy. Many people carry burdens throughout the year, mistakes they regret, sins they wish they could erase, moments they wish they could go back and change. Laylatul Qadr becomes a night where those burdens can be lifted. It is a night where a person can turn to Allah with honesty and ask for a new beginning. A night where the past does not have to define the future. The beauty of Laylatul Qadr is that it turns a short moment of sincere worship into something that stretches across decades of reward. A quiet prayer in the middle of the night can become one of the most valuable moments in a person's entire life. Ramadan is often described as a month of mercy, forgiveness, and spiritual renewal. But the true test of a believer's awareness appears in the final stretch of the month. The last 10 nights arrive quietly, almost like a secret treasure placed at the end of a long journey. For many people, this is the moment when physical energy is lower and routines begin to change. The excitement of the beginning of Ramadan has settled, and the body feels the weight of many days of fasting. Yet spiritually, these nights are meant to be the most powerful part of the entire month. This is the time when hearts are meant to wake up, not slow down. The Prophet demonstrated a very clear pattern during these nights. When the last 10 nights of Ramadan arrived, his dedication to worship increased in a noticeable way. His nights became more alive with prayer. His focus became deeper. He would spend more time remembering Allah, standing in prayer, and making supplication. He also encouraged his family to wake up and participate in these moments, showing that the blessings of these nights were not meant to be experienced alone. This teaches an important lesson about spiritual awareness. A believer does not simply pass through sacred moments without recognizing them. When a time of great blessing arrives, the believer becomes more alert, more intentional, and more careful about how their time is spent. During the last 10 nights, every hour begins to matter more. The quiet moments after the night prayer carry a special feeling. The world outside becomes calmer. Distractions fade away. The night creates a space where a person can focus only on their relationship with Allah. These are the moments where sincere worship becomes easier for the heart. Sometimes people imagine that increasing worship during these nights means doing something extraordinary or exhausting. But the beauty of devotion is that it can begin with very small steps. A person may pray a few extra units of prayer. They may spend a little more time reading Quran. They may raise their hands in dua with deeper concentration than usual. Even sitting quietly and remembering Allah becomes meaningful during these nights. What matters most is the intention behind these actions. When a person recognizes the value of these nights, their mindset changes. They begin to see each evening as an opportunity that may never return again. Ramadan comes once a year, but no one is guaranteed another Ramadan. This realization brings a sense of urgency to the heart. Instead of treating the night as just another routine evening, the believer begins to protect it. Time that might normally be spent scrolling through a phone or watching something becomes time reserved for worship. Even small adjustments in habits can open the door to greater spiritual focus. There is also something deeply personal about worship during the last 10 nights. These moments are often private, quiet, and sincere. A person stands in prayer while the rest of the world sleeps. They whisper their hopes, their fears, and their regrets to Allah. These are conversations that only Allah hears, moments where the heart speaks honestly without any audience. This sincerity is what gives worship its true value. It is not about how long someone stands in prayer or how many pages they read. It is about the presence of the heart. When a person turns to Allah during these nights with humility and hope, even a short prayer can carry deep meaning. The last 10 nights invite believers to step away from the noise of daily life and return to what matters most. They are nights where the soul can reset, where the heart can soften, and where the connection with Allah can become stronger than it has been all year. Dua is one of the most powerful acts of worship a believer possesses, yet it is often the most underestimated. Many people think of dua as something simple, almost small, compared to other forms of worship. But in reality, dua is a direct conversation with Allah. It is the moment when a person turns away from the entire world and speaks honestly to the one who created them, understands them, and has complete power over every outcome in their life. During the last 10 nights of Ramadan, the power of dua becomes even more meaningful. These nights carry an atmosphere of mercy and closeness to Allah that does not exist at other times of the year. They are moments where hearts soften and barriers between a servant and their Lord begin to fall away. A believer who raises their hands during these nights is standing in a time that is filled with opportunity. One of the most beautiful aspects of dua is that it does not require perfection. A person does not need to know long or complicated supplications. They do not need perfect words or elegant language. Allah understands every language, every whisper, every tear, and every silent thought that lives in the heart. Sometimes the most sincere dua is the simplest one. A person may sit quietly in the middle of the night and speak to Allah about the things they cannot say to anyone else. They may talk about their worries, their mistakes, their hopes for their family, or the struggles they carry in their daily life. These honest conversations are deeply valuable because they come from a place of sincerity.